folder and didn't create a folder, sorry. I just moved this in and then I can just hide everything and unhide. Okay, so on the post-process volume, let me look at what options do we have for these reflections. So I can set this to 2, 4, nothing changed there. So max roughness. Now let's see in the global illumination, see if something's changed here. And now as well, this one 2 to 4, not much changed to be honest. So I'm just gonna go directly to translucency because the reflections are not, maybe the bounces 4, no, and this one to 3, 4, and 0. And on the translucency there is some parameters here. We can even set to ray tracing, but doesn't look that gray. So let's see, 1, 0, 5, and samples 8. No, I think we're just gonna go back and edit this material, my glass here. So I'm just gonna go glass outside, and I think I'm just gonna set this to a darker value, something like that. And I think I set up the opacity to 0.5 with 0.4. Just so I can see a little bit of that. I mean, the interior there, let's see. Opacity 0.1, 0, 1, 0.4. Okay. There are some details there that we want to, I mean, this reflection doesn't look that great, so I'm just gonna reduce that there and go back into post-process volume. Yeah, high quality, hid lighting for reflections. Let's set this to 2. Let's see, 4, 1. Okay, this seems to look more realistic. 2. And let's find out on other views, for example this. Well, I think it's maybe it's too dark in here. Yeah, definitely it got dark, so I'm just gonna leave that there. And we're gonna do, on the next video, we're going to do the interior shots. So this is just the outdoor ones that we want to get sorted. So got that there. Okay, that one. 0.5, 0.4. Oh, sorry, I'm just changing the this opacity here, just playing with the values, see if I can set something interesting. And we can also tweak these parameters. I mean, in here it's not looking that great, isn't it? So it's just gonna bring that down to that point there. Let's see metallic. Interesting thing, it's that the metallic seems, when I set to 0, it seems to be better, or the reflection looks a little bit better. Let's go close to it. See. No, not really. So it's a little bit of tweaking always with glass. And thing is the way, maybe if I do a two-sided glass, let's see if that solves the issues. No, it doesn't. And what about if we go to this glass material and then set this to 4 shading? No, so I think it's with the post-process volume. So probably some parameters here that we need to change. So definitely is the refraction bounces. That is what allows to, I mean, to be more bounces on those lights. 4 to 1 to 0 to 1. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try to render this and see if I can look for some settings here. It's not guesswork, but it's just to see what works best for the scene and for the environment. And because it has like glass on top of glass on top of glass, so we need to just find the right configuration for it to work properly. But I think I'm just gonna change the. I think what it's affecting is the glass inside this glass here, and because there are 2 planes, it's just. I mean, it pretty much is bouncing light and reflection. So I think I'm gonna change this glass inside. So gonna get here this second one, and yeah, probably the tint is what I need to be modifying as well. So opacities, let's see if I change this to 0.5. Let's change that to 0.2. 0.1, or maybe decreasing the coloring. And yeah, I think this is the best way to do that. I mean, when we do the inside shots, we can just change the opacity here, and for example 0.5 or increase the color or something like that, but just to bring more realism to the scene. But for the outside shots, just so we avoid those shading there, those reflection, because when I set the post-process volume and increase my bounces, okay, it's gonna dark the scene from the outside. But okay, it's going to eliminate those issues here, but there are some other issues that we'll need to look when we do that interior shot. So I'm just gonna set that to 0, and then just maybe decrease this color here, and yeah, set opacity to 0.5, see how it looks. 0.3, and from this side. So now let's see if, because this is the plane on the outside, maybe I can now change this to something like that. Okay, so you see the opacity affecting the glass. So that's pretty much because of the color here. So something like that. If you have like high reflective glass, you can always set this to a higher value here in the black levels, if you want to call that the levels of it. But I think like this, it looks all right. So that's one of the things that we always need to take into consideration, if how the light affect this translucent I mean this translucent geometry, and how we can work around those issues there. So I think I've got all the shots I want for this. Let me see the last one, the out of 5. Yeah, I think I can do some sort of shot like moving like that. And now let's create our sequences. And to do that, I'm just gonna save all, just so everything is saved. I'm going to go into content, wood lodge, and then create a new folder called cinematics. By the way, I can set this color to this one here. And for this, I'm going to go into cinematics level sequence. Then call this ls outdoor 1. And then open that. This sequencer, we can just drag this in there. Now I can go into camera outdoors 0, and then add to sequencer. Well, I can just look here, camera outdoor. I mean, this is in 30 frame per second. We can do 24, or let's see how it looks in 24. So you see here this number changed because this is based in 120. No, so this is 5 seconds. So it's 5 times 30. If I set this, it's going to be 5 times 24. I think a value I like to work is pretty much 90, which is 3 seconds, and then go. Let's see how this looks in 24 mils. So I want to do is I want to set my camera here, the transform. I can just transform the location just so it doesn't affect the rotation or the scale. So I'm just gonna click here and add a keyframe to this, and then move this one to this point, 72, and I'm just gonna move my camera slightly. So pressing right click and then moving to W, something like that, and then press location again. So if you can see here, yeah, but it has like this weird effect that it's not that great, isn't it? So to change that effect, we want to make this to a linear interpolation, basically. So this is going to be pretty much constant, or like in a linear way there, in a linear movements of these two keys. I think it's something it's like missing for this shot. I think it's a little bit of camera shake. By the way, if you set this to looping, you can just see the shot one and again and again and again. So let's get back to maybe I even want to frame this shot a tiny bit better, something like that. Okay, now let's create a camera shake, and I think we can add one right here, but we need to create one from scratch. So let's do that. It's a good opportunity to explore this. So we go right click and then go into Blueprint class and search here for camera shake. We're going to use this camera shake base. I don't think this modifier, no, I think I haven't used that. So I think it's this one here. It has been quite some time. So BP for Blueprint camera shake. And let's open that. So this is pretty much the structure of a blueprint. You got an event graph, you got some functions, variables that you create here, but we don't need to be worrying about this. So I want to go here, root shake pattern, and select this one, Perlin noise camera shake. Then some options here will open up. And so I'm not gonna dive deep into this because otherwise we're gonna spend a lot of time. So I'm just gonna bring some values that I generally use for my cameras and see how these affect the shot. So I'm gonna leave 1 on 1. That's fine there. All of these values on the location, it's like how if the camera moves on the Y, on the Z, or the X. So it's just adding a little bit of movement to each axis. Then I've got the rotation, And the rotation, I think I want to change the frequency multiplier here, and this is going to pretty much affect all of them, all of the rotation. So just gonna set this to 1 and this multiplier to 1, so it's going to affect all of them at the same time. Then I think I'm just gonna change some values here on the roll. On the roll is basically on the to the side, and yaw is I believe it's on the Y. So roll is pretty much like on the X, if I'm not if I'm not wrong on that. So gonna set that to 0.5, and just for the time being, and also the duration, I want to be this always playing. So I'm just gonna leave like that and see how this works. It has been a long time since I created a new one, but I believe that was the way I use. So go here to this camera outdoor and then add that camera shake. So you got this sort of line there, and see if something. It's quite subtle. I don't know if you see it there. So I'm just gonna, for example, this, don't know. Let's do some, like a 5, and see how this. You see how it's moving on, sort of like the X is rotating on the X. I'm just gonna get back and compile, and if I do the amplitude here, for example, on the 5, compile, and the frequency, let's say to 5, just, and here, let's, just so we can see it. See, it's like shaking the camera there, and then here it's shaking in pretty much all these directions. So I want something subtle. I don't want something to be always shaking. So for that, maybe this to 2. No, I think it's too much there. I just want something like it's really subtle that you can even notice, but it's there. So for that camera shake, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that, and yeah, probably apply this to the other ones as well. So just gonna get this to here, and we can do more stuff in here, and I'm going to show you. I mean, the idea is to use this project for a lot of new videos, and then we can explore new things. So I'm just going to duplicate this thing 2 more times, so duplicate them. And with this, I'm just gonna delete all of that. Gonna exit, select my outdoor 2, and then this one here. So we want this one to come like that, right? So it starts here, and the transform is gonna be location. Although we can do only Z. We can even turn this into a linear already. And then go in here 72, and we can just move it up. So now let's see how that looks. Oh, I was selecting the wrong key, so I'm just gonna Control Z and leave it there, and then go in here and select another key there and select this one. Something like that. Now let's play that. Okay, now we got that shot done, and we need to add that camera shake. Add the camera shake. Now see in here it's gonna start only from that point, so I just need to move this to this side. Okay, that is done. Now I can save and do the same thing for the other shots. Can delete that, go into camera 3, select camera outdoor 3, and we can add already this camera shake. Then transform into X here, then like a linear, and then let's move this to this one there and there. So when this is selected, I'm just gonna move to there. Now I think it's too much of a movement there, too fast, I think. So we can increase this to, let's say 72, so double 144. Let's see how this looks. It's better, but I think I'm just gonna move my camera, and I'm just gonna drag them forward, and let's see. Yeah, something like this there. Then X, and then probably turn them a little bit there. Maybe it's a great opportunity to explore the other transforms. So I'm just gonna set it here at 0 and select all transform, and then when I'm here, I'm just gonna move and rotate just a tiny bit there, and maybe bring it to the front like that, and then transform again. So let's see how that looks in linear. So there is a shot there with a lift getting in the way, so we need to maybe set another transform here, and then move this one to the front there. Let's see if still catches. Yeah, still catches it. So I'm just gonna move this to, oops, no, so it's in here. Just gonna create a transform there, and then move my camera there. Ah, still there. It's